Just waiting for people to get in here if they are, but in the meantime, let's listen to some good music. Vibe out. Ready? I'm go for my goal. Nothing can stop me from reaching my goals. Championship mode. In championship mode. Mode you guys gotta be in. Nothing gonna stop me from reaching my goals. Championship mode. I go for the goal. Nothing gonna stop me from reaching my goals. Like 20 more seconds, then I'm gonna get into the lesson to answer that question about how, why people gonna treat you bad. Is it your fault? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you in a couple minutes. 30 seconds. Let's get it. And that was activated when you shine it hard. It's like they have to hate it. Oh man, that was activated when you shine it hard. It's like 15 seconds. Then we're gonna get into this. Dog, I got a lot of goals to get. You see, spending all your time online, but I ain't got time for that. You spreading them lies and gossiping, I ain't got time for that. Spending all your nights in the club, and I ain't got time. Don't got time for the clubs, no? Why? Why? Ha ha. Alright. So you guys basically just watched like 2 minutes almost of me just being stupid. But let's get into the flesh, the main meal. So I hope you enjoyed that little appetizer that left you hungry for more. So the title of this is, Why Do People Treat Me Bad? So, do people treat you bad? Do you find yourself around people that just seem to drain you, and when you leave them, you feel like you just want to go to bed, like you're so tired? Or do people in your life just abuse you in some type of way? Do they make you feel less than a human? Are you in a relationship with somebody who physically abuses you, verbally abuses you, but you love them and you stay in that relationship? Do you have people that just blatantly disrespect you and don't care about the things that you say? Do you wonder why people treat you bad? Do you feel like everybody in your life treats you bad? Or do you feel like it's just a certain amount of people? These are questions that are very important to have answered. Because a lot of us, if they go unanswered, if we can relate to any of those questions or any of those scenarios, if they go unanswered for so long, it will leave us drained and depleted, thinking that we are the reason why people treat us that way, and we are people who don't deserve to be treated right. Like maybe something's wrong with us, and then that will leave you feeling less than, and when you feel less than for too long, you will start to fall. Whether it's into depression, into drugs, into bad things. You don't want that. And if you're already there, you don't want to stay there. Or do you? Comment below, let me know where you're at, or how people even treated you. But before I tell you the answer to that question, because I'm guessing if you're watching this, you wanted to know why people treat you bad. Before I answer that, I want to, I think this is backwards, but this book is called The 4 Agreements. I'm reading it. So what I want to do is read you guys a little section of it, and then I'm going to delve in to the answer, the cure for this question. All right? So it goes like this. In your whole life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. Let that sink in. And the limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. Now, let's let that stuff sink in, alright? So first off, what's the first thing that it says? In your whole life, nobody's ever abused you more than you abuse yourself. So if you guys don't know what self-talk is, it's how you communicate to yourself what's going on. It's that internal voice that talks to you and tells you things. Not in some type of psychotic way, but let's say, I don't know, somebody breaks up with you. And the first thing that you start to think and tell yourself is, man, this is like a continuous pattern. Everybody breaks up with me. Maybe I'm just not good in a relationship. Maybe this is my fault. I thought I put the best effort in that I could, but I guess I never can do anything right. Things like that. Or it could be opposite. It doesn't always have to be bad. It could be good things that say, like, I'm the shit, I'm the best thing out there, and this person just lost. I don't know what's up with that. Like, it could be any way that you perceive life. Basically, it's you see things, but before you can say what's happening to you, your mind interprets it. Interprets reality and tells you what reality is actually happening. So if you got into a car accident or you witness a car accident, you see those things happen. That's the cause and effect of life. But you're the one that gives it meaning. And that meaning that we assign to life, our lives, it affects us. It turns into a story, the things that we start to believe. And if they're abusive and less than, I mean, somebody else is not going to treat you better than you treat yourself. So why is it that people treat you bad? Maybe it's because you treat yourself bad. Because you're settling for less than who you are. Because you think you're less than who you actually are. And who are you? You're a fucking epic being. Alright? You're epic. And I believe that 110%. Probably 1,000, a million, a billion, a trillion, a quadrillion, infinity percent, I believe that everybody is an epic being and we just choose to dim our shine, to not live who we are because of these stories that we start to tell ourselves. So, I'm going to give you guys some things you could do to start to treat yourself better so you can start demanding people treat you better. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a story about myself. So you know that I'm not just somebody out there preaching something. Because when I read that in that book, it hit me like a ton of bricks at supersonic speed. It was like, whoa! Fucking head knocked off and everything, and then came back. But let me tell you this story. So, after my mom passed away, I had a series of actually, all the relationships after my mom passed away were bad. They were they were abusive, I'm not even gonna lie. The first, they all choked me. The one pulled a knife out on me. They all did things, said things that made me feel bad. I mean, it got to the point where I was with my last boyfriend and I would just be laying in bed with him cuddling. We wouldn't even be saying a word to each other. And my heart would hurt. I would just feel like inside that I was dying being around him. And then I wondered why people treated me that way. Why were all these boyfriends being abusive towards me? But it's because I was abusive towards myself. 110%. My self-talk was, I was not worthy. I was very, 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 very insecure as a person. Also, what did I tell myself? I told myself that maybe when they were doing those things, that maybe somehow I deserved it for being somebody who cheated on boyfriends in the past. Like, I was holding on to these things that I did that I felt guilty for. See, it's like when you do something wrong, if you go to court for it or something in real life, justice is when you do something wrong, you punish yourself once for it. But for us, it's like everything, if something's bad, we tend to bring back all the bad memories and all the bad things that we did. And then our brain starts to bring meaning and re-punish ourselves and rejudge ourselves to make ourselves feel bad. about something that we already did that we seem to can't forgive ourselves for. And that is so fucked up, pardon my French, because I do that to myself a lot. Anything, that's why I feel like I'm not reaching my peak potential right now. And that's because I didn't reach it in the past, and I let myself down, and I got mad at myself, and I got down on myself, and I beat down on myself and told myself, no, you need to do something better, like you're fucking up your life. And then every time I want to do something right, I still go back to I never did anything, and then I rejudge myself for the past offenses. So that's what I was doing in those relationships, and to the point where it's like I felt that any love that I got was worth something because I had no self-love for me. And it's like, I didn't think that a lot of people did. Like, my mom was the only person that I really felt cared about me and loved me. Then it's like, my dad chose drugs over me, abandoned me, so I felt terrible. I felt like I didn't deserve love. I felt like I was just living to live because some cruel joke that, like, God or the creator or the universe was playing on me. I remember praying and saying, God, universe, whoever's out there, like, please just let me get to my life's purpose so I could die. That was like the one thing that I wanted in life was to die. So I wanted to die. I was feeling bad and depressed about my own self. I didn't love myself. I did things to hurt myself. Like I used to burn myself because the emotions would get too intense. And I would just have to stop feeling this pain on the inside and make it on the outside so I didn't have to, so I could care to my wounds and not have to think about the pain that's on the inside. Not have to feel that. So I could get outside of my body. Like I was just fucked up. I was fucked up. And the only thing I thought was like, I have a good heart. I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I'm letting these people, I'm staying in these relationships though. I'm like, they love me. They love me. They love me. They love me. But no, they were loving me the way I was loving myself. They were loving me the exact way I was loving myself. When they were talking to me, all kinds of, you're a bitch, I hate it when they called me a cunt, but you're a cunt, I fucking hate you, like, I don't even know why you're here, like, all this stuff. These bad things, or, you make me feel terrible. Like, what is wrong with you? You don't care about me. What are you, a fucking heartless bitch? And that's what I used to think, like, maybe I am heartless. Like, I thought I had a good heart, you know? Maybe I am. And then I started believing that. Because if I had a good heart, then I wouldn't be fucking doing the shit that I'm doing to myself, right? So if I'm not treating myself right, then obviously maybe I don't know how to treat anybody right. And if my dad chose drugs over me, then maybe I'm not a good person. See, that self-talk of how people treated me in the past was coming into the future, and I was taking everything personally. That's one thing you can't do. Things people do to you is a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you. But it is a mirror if you choose to treat yourself the same way that they treated you and you choose to not see it. And that was what I was doing. I wasn't seeing that the way other people were treating me. Now, I might have been a little kid and I didn't understand like what was going on with my dad, and that was all him, but I internalized it and I started believing that. So my self-talk around what somebody else did became the way I started treating myself. So there's nobody to blame in this whole scheme of things except for me. So for you, the way people treat you has to do 100% with you. Because you cannot settle for less than who you are. And I was settling for less than who I was because I didn't even think that I was an epic being. If you don't believe that you're an epic being, you are settling for less than who you are in every day of your life. And that is a statement that I will stand by 100%. If you don't think that there is something utterly special, unique, and beautiful about who you are, and you can see that in everybody, because we aren't human beings, we are epic beings, is what I believe. We all just don't seem to believe that because the world doesn't want us to. Society wants a hierarchy. Society wants people like the haves and the have-nots. Society wants to say who is who, what is what. But no, you are you. If you're breathing, if you can take a minute, put your hand on your heart and feel that heart beat and take a deep breath and feel your stomach expand and focus on the life that's pulsing through you. Like, focus on your hands until you can feel your the veins, until you can feel the pulse. of the blood in your hands. Until you can realize that you're alive, then if you can realize that, then you are a fucking epic being. If you can feel your heartbeat, you are an epic being. That's it. It's point blank. So how is it that you're treating yourself? If you don't know, really, the first thing to do is sit down and write yourself a letter. Out of all the things that you forgive yourself for, all the things that you think that you did wrong, all the things that made you feel bad, and analyze each situation that made you feel bad, whether it's things that you said to yourself or things other people said to you, ways other people treated you. Make a damn list of the way all the bad shit that happened to you, all the good shit that happened to you. But really focus on that bad shit. Focus on the bad things and bad feelings. And if it's something that's created by somebody else, then think to yourself, in what way was I treating myself that way? Because you won't, like this book says right here, if somebody abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in a relationship and tolerate it endlessly. Okay? So, this is how my abusive relationship ended. Okay? When I started finding self-help books. The moment that I realized that I didn't love myself, and I started changing my perspectives. Epic, what I believe is evolving perceptions, inspiring change. That neuroplasticity that as humans we should evolve and keep evolving, but maybe not so much as our body, as in Darwinism, but as in our brain, as in neuroplasticity. And using that evolution to inspire change in us, so that way later it inspires change in the world. Like Michael Jackson says, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways. Because if you want to make the world a better place, then look in the mirror and make a change or something like that. I don't know, I butchered that. But the point is, when I started with them self-help books and evolving my perception and wanting to love myself, I started realizing, hey man, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. And I let it go. With all the love in the world, I let it go. I let it go. And I walked away. And it took time. I walked away, and then I walked back, and then I walked away, then I walked back. But eventually I walked away for good, and it was gone. But me, I'm a different type of person, so I stayed friends with the person because I knew that they had a lot of evolution to go through as well. But we don't talk to each other every day. We don't see each other every day. We are definitely not in a relationship. And it's more phone stuff. Like, you need help? Okay, I'm here. Because that's who I am. That good heart that I thought that I didn't have, I do. Because I'm an epic being. That good heart, the same heart that I have, you guys have. Whoever you are watching this. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up in like 2 seconds. So here's what you do. You write that stuff down. And you identify something that they were treating you, right? Some way they were treating you. Something that they did to you that really stood out to you. And then you see and you analyze how you treat yourself that way. Whether it's your self-talk. Whether it's the neglect that you give to yourself. Think about it. It's all going to be up here. And in here, that heart. Come up with those reasons. And then after you get a clear vision of how you treat yourself. And sometimes after you have that vision, to heal might mean going to therapy. To heal might mean getting a life coach. To heal might mean reading a lot of books, going to a lot of seminars, finding support, going to AA, NA. To heal might mean doing all that. But you make a vow that you're an epic being and that you will never settle for less than you are. And you are an epic being. 20 minutes later, that's the end of it. Peace.